you're not gonna have more time in the future. Future you is not gonna have more time, and life is not gonna slow down. So if we don't take the time now to spend our time on what really matters, it's not gonna happen. And what really matters is not managing stuff. I just wanted to show you, I have the most amazing smelling candle burning right now from Bath & Body Works, this Paris Cafe. It is so good. It smells like espresso and a buttery croissant. But I'm gonna grab my tea here and then we can sit down and chat. Hi friends, welcome to Scribbles from Emily. Today we are going to talk about 10 ways your clutter could be costing you. Okay, let's start by imagining if everything that's in your home that isn't in the right spot actually made a noise. Like some kind of a low hum or like a dial tone noise or like radio static. Every single piece of mail or item that you're meant to take somewhere else and left. Nothing makes a very loud noise, but together with all of those noises on top of each other, it makes up all of this background noise that's constantly in the back of your mind. It's easier to visualize how sound would affect us than it is inanimate objects. Because a lot of the time we feel like, well, it's not that bad. Like, I'm sure this is how everyone's house is as a mom of young kids. And this is just part of the deal. I'm not worrying about this mess because I'm focusing on taking care of my kids because they're the most important thing. And we don't really realize how that constant background noise of our clutter is affecting us and the people around us. So let's dig into that some. The number one way that clutter is costing you is in your mental health. It's consistently been shown that clutter robs us of our well-being and raises our anxiety. You might not consciously realize that you're feeling anxious, but just think about the last time that you really stopped and took a really deep breath. The stress might manifest as like a sense of restlessness when you're at home, like you really want to go somewhere else and you just feel this kind of itchiness of not being settled. Maybe you just feel unsatisfied and discontent in your life at home when you fantasize about going back to work or running away from it all. I think we all do that at times, for sure, but maybe at the same time you feel guilty for feeling unsatisfied and discontent. But when it comes to actually making changes, you feel totally overwhelmed. There's just way too much. You don't even know where to start or how you would possibly find the time to work on it. And you just really don't feel all that motivated. It just feels like it's too much to even begin. Clutter and the constant stress that clutter is causing can make us feel irritable, restless, dissatisfied, like we have a lack of motivation and focus, and feel overwhelmed in life. Decluttering is a process of reclaiming your space, your mental space, your emotional space, your emotional health, your physical space, and your sense of agency, the sense that you can do this. You can manage your home, you can create systems and a process to keep it clean and under control. You can be the CEO of your own life. That all can come from this process of decluttering as we get some small wins and start to see progress in what we're able to accomplish. That just fuels us further in the next area we need to tackle. Also, it's robbing you of quality sleep. So insomnia and waking up a lot at night, having trouble falling asleep, all of that is a result of clutter, especially clutter in your bedroom. It's even if you sleep in a room that's totally pitch black, you still know it's there and it's still affecting you on a subconscious level and disrupting your sleep. If you're a mom of young kids like me, then we can't afford to lose any more sleep. We're already sleep deprived and we can't afford to be losing our sleep just because of our environment, which is causing us stress. This one I thought was really interesting. There's also a link between clutter and weight gain and keeping weight on. They found in a study that people who were in a cluttered and chaotic, kind of messy kitchen ate more of the cookies that they put out than the people that were in a clean kitchen. The ones who had a clean kitchen could deal with the cookies being there and not eat as many as the people that were in a messy kitchen. They think that's because being around clutter all the time actually lowers your self-control. So your mind is so busy managing all of the clutter that's around you, the visual and emotional stimuli, that it lowers how much self-control you have left when it comes to dealing with things like food. Also, like we already talked about, it causes like a lack of motivation and focus, so you're less likely to want to go work out because you just don't feel as motivated. And who wants to take the time to cook a healthy meal at home if your kitchen is a mess and you can't find stuff, and by cooking in it, it's just gonna get worse. It's gonna be way easier to just eat out all the time, which is also not great for your health. Long-term effects of stress could be things like headaches, upset stomach, muscle tension, chest pain, feeling fatigued, and then, like we already talked about, sleep problems. So long-term effects on our health can be hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes. That's a really high cost and not one that we can afford. We need to take care of ourselves so that we can take care of our families and our young kids especially. According to a book called Organizing from the Inside Out, the average US executive spends at least an hour every day just looking for things. And you would think that executives would have their stuff under control. But that includes like not just looking for your keys to get out of the house, but digital files, emails, and that amount of time adds up. I calculated it to, if we spend 1 hour a day just looking for stuff, probably spend at least an hour a day just looking for shoes for kids. That translates to 45 work days over the course of a year. 45 8-hour days. That's over a month, 45 days. If you could reclaim that 1 hour back every day, you would basically feel like you went on a vacation. Number 6, managing clutter takes up almost half of your housework. So in some studies, they found that about 40% of our housework could be eliminated if the excess stuff and clutter were eliminated in our lives. Because so much of our time is just picking up after people and taking care of stuff, putting stuff away, buying stuff, organizing stuff. All of that takes a lot of time. And I don't know about you, but some days I just feel like my job is to be a stuff manager and just manage the stuff. And all day long I go around cleaning up the same messes. If we can eliminate that extra stuff that's just creating more work for ourselves, we could free up 40% of our time. We could spend that on 100 other things that would be so much more productive. Anything else you've been thinking that you're going to do someday when your kids are older and you're out of this stage of life, when you'll have more time and life will slow down and all those things. You're not going to have more time in the future. Future you is not going to have more time, and life is not going to slow down. So if we don't take the time now to spend our time on what really matters, it's not going to happen. And what really matters is not managing stuff. Number 7, clutter costs you money. A lot of money. The first time I did a major closet clean out was back in 2011. And in going through my underwear drawer, I counted 50 pairs of underwear. So embarrassing. Some still had the tags on them too. But even if those 50 pairs of underwear only cost $5 each, that's $250. That's a really nice pair of jeans. Or the jeans that I buy, my favorites at Old Navy, that's 8 pairs of jeans. Or that's like all of the clothes both of my boys will need for the whole year. How much money are we wasting that's just hanging in our closet? 1 out of 11 Americans also pays for self-storage. So you're paying for storage space every month. That's another monthly fee just to keep stuff that you obviously don't need and isn't bringing you any joy in your life. Then think about like how much we pay for digital storage. I know I got into a couple months ago paying for extra storage space on Google Drive and on iCloud. So it was like $13 in fees every month, which adds up to quite a lot over the course of a year. All of that just spent on storing stuff. Number 8, and this is a big one. Our clutter robs us of gratitude for what we have. Clutter really falls into 2 main categories. Stuff from the past that we're still holding on to, or stuff for the future that we think we might need, or that reminds us of a task we need to do in the future. None of it has anything to do with the present moment. And it robs us of being able to be fully present right here and now when we're just surrounded by things that are reminding us of the past or the future. It keeps us from appreciating what we have now and what truly brings us joy because our view is obstructed. So if you have a bookshelf that's just crammed full of books, then when you look at it, you don't see those couple titles that truly bring you great joy. I think the same is true of like our closet. If it's packed full, then we're not seeing the things in there that we truly love and that bring us joy. And when you're disorganized, it's so easy to fall into this hole of always wanting more, of thinking like, if I just have more time, if I have a bigger house, if I have a better closet system to keep this stuff organized, if I get more storage containers, then I'll finally have peace and order and sanity at home. But the truth is this stuff eventually overflows the storage containers and the new closet system, and the bigger house fills up because we're not dealing with the root problem of the clutter and the fact that when we just keep the things that truly bring us joy, then we don't need more. We don't need to chase that joy anymore. We can appreciate what we already have. Clutter keeps you from loving and serving others well. So in one study that was really interesting, they had people fill out surveys on like random topics, and then after they filled out the survey, they would ask those people if they'd be willing to donate to a charity. People who filled out the surveys in a neat and organized, clean room were more likely to donate to charity than people who did the same surveys in a messy room. When we're surrounded by clutter, we're distracted and we have a tendency to then focus on ourselves and less on other people. And I think that's just because, like we already talked about, you're not appreciating what you have and then being inspired to be generous as a result. Also, along the same lines of being able to love and serve other people more, it's no secret that people who have a hoarding disorder isolate themselves and they don't let people in because the shame of the hoarding fuels that isolation, and it becomes a circular pattern where they feel bad so they buy more and then they feel worse and then it just, keeps going. But even those of us who have a normal amount of clutter or messiness, if we feel self-conscious about our home, we're less likely to invite that new mom over for a play date, or we get stressed thinking about having family come over, especially unexpectedly. If we feel ashamed or guilty about our space, we're not as likely to invite people in. And if there's one thing our culture really needs now, it's true hospitality and inviting people in. That's the biggest ministry that we can have, especially to other moms. But it's really hard to practice true hospitality if we're, in the back of our mind, we're wondering if somebody's judging us for our messy house. And yeah, you can say, well, I just will stop caring, but it's also not awesome to be the guest of somebody in a messy house because it's hard for you to relax. And then if we're constantly apologizing or trying to rationalize the way things are, that's also not super relaxing or inviting for other people. Opportunity cost is the loss of potential gain from other alternatives when you choose one alternative. So by making one choice, you're saying no to the other things, and that is opportunity cost. Even refusing to choose is still making a choice. So if you refuse to deal with your clutter, to take care of your environment, that is a choice that you're making, and the cost of that is the time, the money, the mental clarity and peace, the better sleep, and the health benefits. It's a really high cost. If you could create the space to really listen to what God is calling you to do in your life right now, even at this stage, I don't think it's just to sit and wait until the kids are older or until things are easier and you have more time, which are all the things we tell ourselves in this stage of life as moms with young kids in particular. I believe that God wants us to not just survive motherhood, but really thrive in it, and that He'll equip us and give us all the tools we need to make that happen. So my hope for you is that you'll take on this challenge of dealing with clutter in your space and reap the rewards of that life transformation. And to that end, I'm working on creating a course that will be about decluttering your space, your schedule, and soul. I'm a little bit passionate about this topic, if you couldn't tell from this very serious long video. That's why I wanted to create a course that will be really accessible for moms who are busy and maybe have kids at home still to be able to complete. And so it will have both video lessons and worksheets that you can do and ways you can hack your habits and create systems and all the things that you don't get from doing just a big decluttering purge on your own, but really will support you developing a system to manage your home that works for you. By the end, you'll have a toolbox of the habits, hacks, and skills that you'll need to maintain your progress long after this class ends. So if this sounds interesting to you, I will put a link in the description down below where you can pop in your email and I will send you updates as I'm going along and developing this course. My plan right now is for it to launch at the beginning of April, but in the meantime, I am looking for some people to be my guinea pigs and test out some stuff. So if you want a guaranteed spot in the course when it launches in April, and you also want to get the full course at a discount, maybe the beta group membership would be for you. The fee for the beta group membership basically just covers some of my time in that. So this could be for you if you want to learn decluttering and organizing from somebody who's a normal mom. Like, I don't pretend that I have everything together. If you were to come over right now, you would see that I have some messy closets and some areas that are cluttered, but I have learned a lot about how to work through issues around decluttering and different struggles, and how to create new habits, and how to find freedom from all of that mental burden that clutter causes us. I think if you have been watching my videos or reading my blog for any length of time, we're probably kindred spirits, and I would love to have you in my VIP beta group testers. So definitely go check that out, and if you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe as we go through more on this decluttering and organizing series. Yeah, I'm excited for all the things that are to come. So thanks so much for being here. We'll see you next time.